Hey everybody, welcome to day 11 of our Kratom Addiction and Recovery Daily Devotional series. So we're going to be spending this whole week in these, let's see how many, 11 verses. I have loved this verse even before I knew what it was because I heard it in the song, and it's always caught my ear since I was very young. And the meaning of this verse has become very big in my life, and I think it would be cool for us to spend this whole week going into the different verses that are within these 11 that we're going to be starting today. So it's in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, and it's going to be verse 1 through 11. So we're going to start off by reading it, and then today we're going to go over the first couple verses, and then each day we'll go over a verse or two this week. And I have my trusty King James version that I've had since I was about 6 years old, so we're going to be doing it from the KJV this week as well. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. What profit has he that works in that wherein he labors? I have seen the travail which God has given to the sons of men to be exercised in it. He has made everything beautiful in his time. Also, he has set the world in their heart, so that no man can find out the work that God makes from the beginning to the end. Wow, that's beautiful. I can see why it was made into a song and why the song really spanned, I believe, like genres and generations. Whenever we hear that song, it's, it's timeless, really, and I never knew that it was a Bible verse, so it's super cool to have learned that a while ago when I found this verse. So let's get into this. We're going to start off with verse 1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. So that's what we're going to start with today. I talk about often how our kratom addiction and recovery process is a season. And there are many seasons in our life. And no season stays forever, and everything is constantly changing and growing and evolving in our lives. And different seasons have different purposes for us. As we start to really get into these next verses over this week, we'll go into further different seasons in our lives and what they mean. But today we're just going to think about that whole concept that our life is made of seasons, and our kratom addiction and then our subsequent recovery are seasons. They don't last forever. For me, I knew about my second year into my kratom addiction that it wasn't manageable, it wasn't sustainable, and it wasn't something that was going to be able to last much longer at that point. So then my tapering process, which lasted a year, was also a season. And then what followed after that was my final jump, and then going through, it'll be 3 years in a couple months, actually in like a month now at this point. Let me think about that. No, it's February 18th, so we're in the end of December, so like a month and a half. And all of these parts of my recovery have been different seasons, and I believe that they will be for you too. Each season is an opportunity for us to learn different things in our life and to cultivate different qualities within ourselves and for God to work on us in different ways. And I do believe that everything happens for a reason, and I do believe that all things work for good, eventually for those who believe and are called according to God's purpose. So even the seasons that seem like they're so hard, and my kratom addiction, especially in the worst of it, it was a very hard, very dark, very lonely season. But now when I look back on it and I see how God used that time to really draw me nearer to Him and for Him to draw nearer to me, I can see the purpose in it. So sometimes when we're in these different seasons and when we're in the thick of it, we can't really see what the deeper meaning is of it. We can't see a lot of times God working in our lives. We can't really see a lot of times like how things are going to work out and how things are going to play out. Sorry, I'm doing natural light today, so it maybe the lighting may be off a little bit. But yeah, no season ever lasts forever, and every season does have its purpose, excuse me. And God intends for us to be in these seasons, even when they're not comfortable, even when they hurt, even when they're lonely and dark. God intends for us to be there, because as the seasons go on in our life and we move to the next one, we'll know at that point. We'll see God's plan unfolding in our lives. So I want to encourage you today, whatever season you are in, wherever you're at, that knowing that this is not going to last forever, and knowing that this is leading into the next season of your life, and digging in deep and calling out to God and thinking about, what could this season mean in my life? And sometimes it's not going to make sense until we move past it into the next season, but it's always good to reflect, and it's always good to surrender to God and also say, let your will be done, not mine, and allowing Him to work in our lives, whatever season that we're in. So I look forward to this week getting into the verses that are after this, where we can go into more about what these different seasons are and ponder them and think about them together each day this week. So wherever you're at, however you're doing, know that I'm thinking about you. Know that I love you, and I pray for you all every single day. And please take the chance in our comments section below to let us know where you're doing and if you need any encouragement or uplifting. And I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Thanks. Bye.